Hey, everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and with me, as always, is Scribe. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
The lovely SDA is joining us as well. Say hello.
Hello.
And it is Thursday, so it is guest night. And tonight's guest is somebody many of you know, the One Ton Hammer. Say hello.
Hey, guys.
Oh, dear God, I forgot to stop the stream, so I'm hearing everything twice. There we go. Sorry about that.
I was wondering why you're taking so long.
Yeah, when that happens, when I forget, it takes my brain a moment to catch up to what the hell I just did wrong.
Right, because you're like, what? Why is there 5 of everybody?
Guys, I'm sorry that the stream got set up so late. Lots of my day's been fucked, so we're gonna pretend it hasn't happened at all and just jump in and have fun with the stream. So, everybody knows USDA. One Ton Hammer, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm an old guy. Me and Bloodwing are big pals. I've been.
Oh wait, are you as old as Blood?
Yeah.
Blood's holy shit.
57, I think. I'm 54.
Blood died 2 years ago. He just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah.
But I just started doing videos after watching you and Bering, and although I haven't been doing much lately, basically political videos on YouTube, got my channel, all that kind of stuff.
Cool. And anything exciting going on?
For me, not lately. I had a stream last night with I streamed with the Chaos group and with the Minions.
Oh yeah, both good groups.
Yeah, they're excellent people, and had a little bit of a rough night with the Chaos group. I said something and got someone mad at me, so I'm still I'm kind of emotionally recovering from that still, because the person I got upset's a really good guy, and I was just being stupid. So happens.
Yeah, occasionally shit happens. SDA Scribe, anything exciting going on with you guys?
Not recently. I mean, Bay and I had our 1-year anniversary stream this morning. Yep. Yeah.
How'd that go?
It went well. We had fun.
Okay. Scribbles?
I wrote ads today.
Oh, cool.
Is Lady Monkey going to be on tonight?
I don't know.
Okay.
We've had a rough day. She's decompressing.
I know. Yeah. If she comes on and she's not in chat or something, let me know, because I have something for her later.
Cool. Okay. Chat, I need you guys to solve a dispute here. Before we went live, I told these guys about the bright spot of my day. I found Jelly Belly Krispy Kreme donut flavored jelly beans. Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
Gross.
Press 1 for good and 2 for bad. That's all I'm saying.
That just sounds like that just sounds like diabetes in a cup.
No, it's diabetes in a pill.
Diabetes in a pill.
So, I assume we have news.
We do have news. We have several different bits of news. Nothing, thankfully, new in the disaster area, so to speak. The fires are still going. There's not really anything new there. Just, it's still going. No more people have died that I have heard of so far, so it's just ongoing destruction. It's not really a news story there, but there has been some interesting news, I guess, about the fallout from the Vegas shooting.
Oh.
There's some weird back and forth going on about after everything's been settled, so to speak. They're trying to figure out the timeline of what happened, who knew what when, and also because there are several lawsuits already filed, both against the hotel and other agencies and such for damages. This is going to be a gigantic legal battle, and in the process of this, they've tried to break down a timeline of events at the hotel, because the cops are saying one thing and the hotel's saying something else. And all of this is important.
What do you mean timeline?
Well,
shooting timeline?
Yeah, and who did what when to notify the police, because this is a big part of some of the lawsuits. So I'll go over this as far as the news story says. Resort disputes police timeline of Las Vegas guards shooting. Las Vegas gunman Stephen Paddock opened fire at a crowd at a music festival just after shooting a Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino security guard. Not 6 minutes later, the resort owner said Thursday, disputing a police timeline. So the contention is that the shooter shoots this security guard. 6 minutes pass where no one notifies anybody that there was a shooting, and then he starts shooting on the crowd as though there was an opportunity to stop him before he opened fire. But the resort is saying that it was not 6 minutes, but like less than a minute. This week, authorities revised the timeline, saying Paddock shot Jesus Campos at 9:59 p.m. on October 1st, injuring him before the gunman opened fire on the crowd 6 minutes later. Initially, police said Campos had approached Paddock's room as the shooting was underway, diverting the gunman's attention. Paddock then shot Campos through the door and quit firing at concertgoers at the Route 91 Harvest Festival from his hotel room on the 32nd floor. But MGM Resorts International, which owns the concert venue, said the time the security guard was reported shot is wrong. Quote, the 9:59 Pacific Daylight Time was derived from a Mandalay Bay report manually created after the fact without the benefit of information we now have. We are now confident that the time stated in this report is not accurate. We know that shots were being fired at the festival lot at the same time as, or within 40 seconds after, the time Jesus Campos first reported that shots were fired over the radio. Police were CNN, fuck you. I will read it as it is written. Police were with armed Mandalay. Oh, okay, I guess it does make sense. It's just awkward. Police were with armed Mandalay Bay security officers in the building when Campos first reported that shots were fired over the radio, the statement said. Those officers and armed Mandalay Bay security officers immediately responded to the 32nd floor. Las Vegas Metro Police Department spokesperson Laura Metzler said the department would not comment on the MGM statement. Yeah, so really it's trying to figure out, when did the shooting start? Was there an opportunity to stop him? Did the police drop the ball? Did the resort drop the ball? Did they have an opportunity and they lost it? It's all very necessary in order to determine liability, fault, etc.
Who's to blame? Yeah.
Yeah, and, it's not, it sounds like, nitpicking, but when it comes down to the lawsuits and everything else, it's going to become relevant real quick because a lot of things went wrong for this guy to do so right with his attack, so to speak. So there's not much more to the story except that they just go over like the timeline and they talk about like what happened in the 6 minutes, this, that, and the other thing. Anyway, expect this to go on for years. There's going to be lawsuits, like class actions, federal cases up the wazoo.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the big news on CNN at the time. And after that, let's do an update on our friend Harvey Weinstein.
Before we get to Harvey, let's do something fun.
Oh, okay. I thought Harvey was fun. All right.
His kitten, what's your son's name? We're being asked to sing Happy Birthday.
Oh.
And I could use a happy birthday song today. I'm not going to lie.
Oh.
So
is One Ton Hammer going to sing?
Oh, God, you don't want to hear that.
Well, no one wants to hear us either individually, but it's the group effort that makes it okay.
Yeah. It's not about how well you sing. It's about how well you enjoy singing. Vincent, we have a song for Vincent.
All right.
Hang on, I got a jelly bean stuck in my throat.
That's the best time to sing.
Yeah, I think so. Let me die on stream. God bless it. My day. 1 second. Let me clear this out.
Yeah, and by having a jelly bean stuck in his throat, Monkey, that's a euphemism for Monkey was sucking tiny dick.
Fuck you. All right. We don't count down anymore, so we're just going to start. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
dear Vincent.
Vincent.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday, Vincent.
Happy birthday, Vincent.
That's not nice. Oh, sweet fuck and no please right together. That's not right.
And Zenith says, AIDS.
Zenith always says that. Anyhow, so what Harvey do now?
Well, let's see. Harvey Weinstein is under investigation by London and New York police.
Oh, London police. Why so?
I don't know. Police on both sides of the Atlantic are investigating Harvey Weinstein over allegations of sexual assault as the scandal surrounding the disgraced Hollywood movie mogul mounts. In London, the Metropolitan Police are investigating an allegation of sexual assault against Weinstein, while in New York, his hometown, police are reviewing claims made by victims interviewed in a bombshell New Yorker article. The news comes on the heels of mounting accusations of sexual harassment and assault against Weinstein. The studio executive and political power broker is facing allegations of rape, unwanted touching, and assault by a number of women, including accusations of harassment by actresses Gwyneth Paltrow and Angelina Jolie in recent stories published in the New York Times and the New Yorker. Weinstein denied the allegations. Looking for something new here. Okay, a Metropolitan Police spokesperson told CNN that an alleged sexual assault involving Weinstein, which was referred to the London police force by police in Northern England, will be assessed by officers from the Child Abuse and Sexual Offences Command.
Oh.
Well, that might just be an umbrella term for stuff, so it might not actually be child abuse. Who knows?
I hope not.
Yeah, well.
Kate Beckinsale. She was assaulted when she was 17.
Oh, Lord. You know, I understand that it's a lousy thing to start interrogating the credibility of the victims involved in this, but I can't say that I don't have a little bit of a lower opinion of people who have sat on this stuff for decades and just now are coming out. I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
You know, the only reason this guy got away with it for as long as it is everybody was being quiet.
Quick super chat. Thank you, Sir Wolfgang. Plus, now they have him on Suicide Watch. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have like 36 women and other people coming out now and saying, oh yeah, he touched me and he touched me and he touched me. They may all be completely truthful. And if they are completely truthful, that kind of makes it worse in a way that they were quiet this long. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
No, I see. I'm with you. I understand the whole why women wouldn't want to talk, but come on.
Yeah.
This is something. I mean, like you mentioned, this was joked about on stage at what, the Oscars?
No, I believe it was the Emmy or the Oscar. Yeah, it was one of those things where like it was the pre-announcement of here are the nominees kind of thing, and Seth MacFarlane was on the stage presenting, and I think it was 2013 or something like that. And it was during like the Best Actress nominees or something. He made a joke about how none of them have to pretend that Harvey Weinstein is attractive or something like that.
Yeah.
And there was a line in 30 Rock about it. I mean, this stuff has been going around for a long time, open secret kind of thing. So
well, this is why I don't get why people are calling it an open secret. Like, it's not an open secret. It's just a thing that people knew about. And I think it's
because they all just
are like, oh, who actually knew about it? Obviously, everybody knew.
That's what I mean by an open secret. I mean, there's a news story now, but it's not anything new to the people who are in the industry. It's just that now it's getting press attention because nobody's scared to come out because Harvey Weinstein has lost all his power, so there's no threat. And like I said before, I understand, like, okay, well, if you take a shot at the king and you miss, you're in deep shit. Okay. But it's really hard to look at all these celebrities, women, men, or otherwise, who have been so vocal about, you know, gender equality in Hollywood and da-da-da-da-da. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, well, I just kind of kept quiet about this for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's messy. What can I say? It's messy.
Yeah. Fuck Harvey. Let me just say that out loud.
And then James Vanderbeek came forward today to say that he got his ass grabbed by a studio executive when he was younger. So Dawson from Dawson's Creek is kind of, like I said, the floodgates open. It is safe now to come forward with this stuff as though it wasn't safe before, I guess. I don't know. Let's see what else. So this is kind of an update to a story that you talked about a few months ago, or I guess a couple months ago now, Monkey. A man beaten by white supremacists in Charlottesville is arrested.
What?
In an incident captured on video and widely shared online, a black man was beaten by several white attackers in a parking garage during August's rally by white supremacists in Charlottesville, Virginia. Yes. Now the man, DeAndre Harris, is facing an allegation that he injured a white supremacist that day. Well, we know he did, because we have video of it. Mm-hmm. Harris, 20, turned himself in Thursday morning and was released on an unsecured bond after being served a warrant charging him with unlawful wounding. It happened after an alleged victim, Harold Ray Cruz, went to the local magistrate's office and asked for a warrant for Harris's arrest. A detective verified the facts and issued a warrant. No further details about the warrant or the incident that precipitated it have been made public, except for the video we have of them carrying bats and shit and going after guys. According to its website, Cruz is chairman of the North Carolina League of the South, a neo-Confederate organization. It has been classified as a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. I don't doubt it, but in an interview with CNN's Don Lemon on Wednesday, Harris's attorney said the warrant was an attempt to muddy the waters of who was to blame for the violent protests. No. Not the violent protests. He went out there with a bat and he hit a guy, and then a bunch of guys mobbed him and beat the shit out of him. Now, I am willing to completely concede that he should not have had the shit beat out of him the way it happened. However, he is not somehow blameless for starting it. Quote, the city of Charlottesville is allowing these same white supremacists to re-victimize my client on the word of a single extremist. His word alone, without any additional evidence, allowed for a warrant to go forward.
Well, that's how assault works, but wait until they see the video. I mean, it's not like it's hard to find.
Yeah. Anyway, there's not much there. It's all in process, but that's the latest on that one. And lastly, at least as far as...
On the hand, and if, I mean, he's not going to do anything.
No, not at all. Not at all. Something that we forgot to cover yesterday that was actually kind of big is that the Boy Scouts are going to allow girls in now.
And did you see that the Girl Scouts got really sassy about it too?
Well, this is the story I'm about to read. You're psychic. Girl Scouts.
She's stealing your psychic mantle.
Okay. Who's going to kill themselves next, SDA?
Probably you.
You're right. I have my fork right here.
Cereal is not.
Girl Scouts slam Boy Scouts decision. Sorry, I know I'm getting excited there for a second. Girl Scouts slam Boy Scouts decision to accept girls. Quote, the Boy Scouts house is on fire, unquote. The Girl Scouts of the USA has issued a blistering rebuke of the Boy Scouts of America's decision to begin letting girls into the ranks of its troops. I would have thought the Girl Scouts would be fighting for gender equality. The Boy Scouts house is on fire, Girl Scouts told ABC News in a statement today. Instead of addressing systemic issues of continuing sexual assault, financial mismanagement, and deficient programming, BSA senior management wants to add an accelerant to the house fire by recruiting girls. What?
Whoa.
This is the Girl Scouts talking about
Yeah,
girls.
like I said, they got sassy and it's hilarious. They're like, oh, you got problems and you just want to bring girls into it. Fuck you. And I'm like, wow, all right. That's a lot.
The criticism comes after the Boy Scouts of America said Wednesday it will allow girls to join the ranks of its Cub Scout program, as well as create a scouting program for older girls. The Boy Scouts program for older girls would allow them to reach the highest rank of Eagle Scout. It is expected to be formally announced next year and is projected to be available in 2019. Excuse me. So I heard on the radio this morning the initial plan is that, so right now, the Cub Scout packs, which are like the smallest divisions of Boy Scouts, those will still be gender segregated. But then when you get up to the dens, when you start combining packs into larger groups.
Wait.
Yes.
They're going to wait until after puberty to combine the groups?
Yep.
What could go wrong there?
I don't know. Little scouts everywhere.
Okay.
Miniature scouts. The Girl Scouts
and somebody
appeared...
proved this.
The Girl Scouts appeared to respond Wednesday to the Boy Scouts' decision with a blog post citing what it said was the power of the, quote, single gender environment. Well, it won't be if they let the girls in. Quote, Girl Scouts is the best girl leadership organization in the world, created with and for girls, the organization wrote in the post. We believe strong... Yeah, I know, right? We believe strongly in the importance of the all-girl, girl-led, and girl-friendly environment that Girl Scouts provides, which creates a free space for girls to learn and thrive. It continued, the benefit of the single-gender environment has been well documented by educators, scholars, other girl and youth-serving organizations, and Girl Scouts and their families. Girl Scouts offers a one-of-a-kind experience for girls with a program tailored specifically to their unique developmental needs. So is Girl Scouts going to let in trans girls?
Probably not.
Yeah. Girl Scouts' highest achievement is called the Girl Scout Gold Award. That doesn't sound nearly as cool as Eagle Scout, got to tell you.
Thank you, Sanguine. Wow, the Boy Scouts are so broken they are now getting slammed by Girl Scouts. Back in my day, it was the other way around, and everyone enjoyed it.
That's right. Anybody want a brownie? Oh, wait. The award is open only to girls in high school and requires a 7-step project to solve a community issue. Okay. The Girl Scouts were founded in 1912, has a membership of 1.8 million girls.
Wait. Yes. Maybe one of their projects can be fixing the Boy Scouts.
There you go. Ooh, they could put a spy into the Boy Scouts as a mole. Yeah, that's what wrong. Yeah. The organization generates nearly $1 billion, half of its annual revenue, in sales from the Girl Scout cookies. Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, that's why they don't want girls going over to the Boy Scouts.
I do love Girl Scout cookies, though.
Me too, but
the shortbread and the mints especially.
I don't like the mints. I like the little coconut ones.
Oh, if you put the mints in the freezer first and let them freeze up and then eat, oh, they're so good.
I don't like chocolate and mint together. I like both separate, but not together.
You don't like chocolate and mint together?
No, it's gay.
Monkey doesn't like race mixing. You heard it here. He's a white supremacist.
Go back to Russia, you fucker.
You don't like your peppermint patties?
Yeah.
No.
What?
Why do I want a snack that tastes like toothpaste?
You know what? That's fair. Like, that's fair. I can, like, you know, everybody likes their thing. But you like the Samoas, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're not my favorite. I like the, I forget what they're called, but they kind of like the light blue box.
The shortbread.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, the shortbreads.
But, like, the Thin Mints aren't my favorite. Like, if I want chocolate and mint, Thin Mint isn't my go-to.
You guys.
Chat, dude, the Boy Scouts should sell barbecue ribs. That would be awesome.
The Boy Scouts, I mean, because what do the Boy Scouts do? Fucking popcorn? Pretty sure.
I don't think they have a gimmick, or at least if they do, it's not.
No, they have like popcorn or some shit like that.
Yeah, no, Girl Scout cookies all the way.
Yeah. Like, as long as we still get Girl Scout cookies, I don't care what the fuck they do.
Doesn't this seem, I mean, kind of mean? The way they said that. I mean, I have no problem with them having criticism, but that was cold-blooded. That was
no, that was, you know what? I think that's a really good representation of females, though. Because
Amber,
they're like, bitch, they're like, bitch, what? And I'm like, that's hilarious, honestly.
Wait. Hammer, are you going to disagree that women can be bitchy?
No, not at all. And anybody can be. It doesn't have to be women. But this is the problem here. That's what it comes down. It always comes down to money. They see an impact to their revenue stream, so this is how they're going to fight it.
Well, revenue stream, and let's be honest, the Boy Scouts have taken quite a hit in the PR department over the last several years with all the sexual assault allegations and everything else. So, in order to drum up some attention and I assume some good PR, it's like, well, rather than have to, I mean, because at some point there was going to be the question of transgender youth wanting to join the Scouts. This heads that off at the pass. This means that we don't have to even have a question about it. Whatever you are, come on in.
I think they need to change it. It can't be the Boy Scouts anymore if there's girls in there.
Well, I know that's the thing. I'm wondering if they're going to change the name, but just the Scouts.
That's bad. How about the sexual assault Scouts?
They're scouting for sexual assault?
Well, they need to.
Okay, so Harvey Weinstein's the den leader?
That could be his next job.
Oh, Harvey Weinstein, president of the Sexual Assault Scouts of America.
There you go.
And now that I've said that, just give it 20 minutes and Jordan 250 will have a logo for it.
Fat Platty says they already allow trans kids in.
Oh, do they? This is how much I've kept up with the Boy Scouts since I was a Cub Scout so many, many moons ago.
I'm telling you, if I was a kid today, I would be transgender so fast. I would be in every girl's locker room. Swear to God, I would be.
Well, let's see. Aside from that, I don't have any other big super duper stories that I know of. I did throw a couple onto MSS News for later, so unless there's something else you guys want to talk about, I can move on to that.
Nothing that jumps out at me. I just want to remind our guest here, because I forgot to do it. We didn't have much time before the stream. If you want to jump in at any point, jump in, because we'll talk over you. So feel free to just butt right the hell in. Don't be.
No, that's fine. I don't want to interrupt Scribe during the news, though.
But that's tradition.
That's SDA's job. By all means, I guess you can take SDA's place.
Hey, Scribe, can you please tell me exactly what the next 5 stories you're going to say before we start? Thanks.
Okay. Well, oh, wow. These are some good ones. Let's see. How about this one? This is a funny one. We'll do a funny one first, because funny's good. This one comes from Eric the Driver, or Pincalo the Driver, or just the Driver. Fed up, Breaking Bad house owner erects fence to stop pizza tosses.
Oh, people tossing the pizza on the roof like the episode.
A New Mexico woman who owns the famed Breaking Bad house is fed up with people tossing pizzas on her roof. So to combat the issue, she's erecting a 6-foot-tall fence around her property. In Caballo Sin Nobre, the 3rd episode of the 3rd season of Breaking Bad, character Walter White flings a pizza on the roof of his home. It's been 7 years since the episode has aired, and fans still visit the real-life Albuquerque home, owned by the Quintana family, and fling their own pizzas like a frisbee onto the roof. According to the New York Post, the Quintana family has had enough of the constant pizza pie vandalism that they put up an iron fence around the home. That's okay. That's ridiculous. That's just stupid.
Do they think that's going to stop them?
I can clear a 6-foot fence. It's not that tough.
Yeah, no shit. It's like a frisbee at that point.
Yeah.
People should be throwing pizzas on people's roofs. Come on.
Oh, I agree. They shouldn't be, but I don't think a 6-foot fence is going to help them.
Oh boy. What is this?
Thank you, Point Curation. Name for the new Boy Scouts Youth League. Also, Monkey Nipples.
Youth League.
I don't know.
That's not very catchy.
Well, it would work. I mean, it covers boys and girls.
How about People Scouts?
People Scouts.
No.
No.
Okay.
Monkey Scouts.
Let's see. This one comes from senior staff reporter Colleen Bernier. Mom baffled when newborn starts smelling of fish before gross reason is revealed.
Oh, no.
Oh, I don't want to know this.
Okay. And this is from the Mirror, so it reads kind of like a blog post. Don't you love that newborn baby smell? Milky, powdery, fresh baby goodness. That's what you expect when you have a little one. But one mom was completely baffled when her baby girl started smelling like a fish market. Writing for Kids Spot, Cassie Hamer revealed how on the second day of her life.
Can I guess?
Hey, go ahead.
They did not wash that baby after it passed through mom.
Ugh. Let's find out. On the second day of her life, her daughter began to whiff a bit. Quote, the hospital dinner plates had been cleared away, yet there lingered a distinct smell of flathead fillets in the room, she wrote. I unwrapped my pastel striped bundle of joy and had a sniff of her. Yep, it was Lucy, all right. She smelled like someone had packed some tuna under her armpits and left it there to fester. Thinking all she needed was to have her first bath, Cassie washed her daughter and believed the smell would go away. But it didn't. The next day, the smell was back. Cassie frantically cleaned the umbilical stump, thinking there might be something lurking there. Her mom came for a sniff and agreed that the smell was still there, particularly under the armpits. Midwives, too, stood around sniffing the baby, but had no clue what was causing the fishy smell. It was time for Cassie to leave the hospital with her daughter, but thankfully a pediatrician was able to give a solution once he'd smelled baby Lucy. He told Cassie to bathe her in Physohex, a chemical compound used in facial cleansers and to treat acne. It seems that Lucy had picked up a skin bacteria during her ride down the vaginal slippery dip. Cassie
Called
explained. Slippery dip. So basically,
Mom's
it was all
computer's
my
nasty.
fault. Yes, vaginal bacteria essentially caused this little baby to smell of fish. Isn't nature wonderful?
I called it.
Good for
Thank you,
you.
Point Curation, Youth League, and the Spies. There you go. There you go.
Ooh, and that sounds like a band, like Josie and the
does.
Pussycats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mom needs to douche or something. That's horrible. Made your baby stink for 3 days. Sir Wolfgang, thank you. How about Scouts of America? See, I want something with pizzazz.
Yeah, let me think about that one. Let's see. This
Future
one,
felons.
this one also comes from Colleen Bernier. Let me go back here real quick so I don't get
While you're
is
looking
this-
that up, for the record, guys, don't get these donut flavored jelly beans. They don't taste like the donuts.
I told you it was a bad idea.
Well, it would have been a good idea if it was like every other Jelly Belly and it actually tasted like what it's supposed to.
But it doesn't.
Oh, sorry, I
And a
misspoke.
full size poster. Oh, wait.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Point Curation. And a full size poster of Big Brother.
Oh, Base Mom is in the chat. Hi, Mama. So I misspoke. This one comes from Eric the driver. Blue bearded man busted in kitty porn probe.
Oof.
And I'm not even kidding. This guy has a blue beard. He has dyed his hair or his facial hair blue. A Toronto man sporting a distinctive blue Van Dyke beard has been busted and charged with a slew of child porn charges.
Oh, dear God.
Walter Weber, 56, of Toronto, was arrested and charged with 2 counts of possession of child pornography, 2 counts of accessing child porn, and making child pornography available. Yeah, there's not much else to the story there, but yeah, you can call him Bluebeard. That's not good.
That's what feminist men do. Instead of having blue hair, they have blue beards.
Based Mama called me Snuggly Scribe. Whoa, was that weird sensation I felt in my sleep last night?
Do we have a picture of Bluebeard?
Of course we do. Let me get that to you. One second.
I want to see if he is as punchable as I imagine he is.
Oh, probably. There you go. There's Bluebeard.
Let's see. It's opening. So, yeah. He looks like he could use a good ass kicking.
Oh,
How the fuck would you do that to your face? It looks like a toilet brush.
It does.
Let's see. I'm gonna pull up one that I posted actually earlier because it just boggles the mind.
Uh-oh.
The Associated Press and the pronoun wars. The transgender. Yeah, I know. The transgender movement is at war with the English language. With a new set of style guidelines, the Associated Press has joined the trenches on the transgender side. With its precision and plain beauty, English has long... And by the way, this is coming from something called Commentary Magazine, and it reads like a blog post. So, with its precision and plain beauty, English has long posed an obstacle for activists who insist there is no biological basis to gender and who seek to overturn the gender binary. Unfortunately for these activists, the gender binary is built into the structure of English with its gender-specific pronouns in many...
No, stop. They're not gender-specific. They are sex-specific, for fuck's sake. Okay, you can continue.
And many gendered expressions. Most people speak a gendered English, moreover. When we hear that one of our friends or relations is pregnant, we naturally ask boy or girl. We speak this way because our language mirrors the natural and inseparable bond between gender and sex. For transgender activists, however, this is merely evidence of how entrenched the oppressive gender binary is. By their... Yes?
I am trying to be quiet. This is fucking stupid. Keep going.
Okay. By their lights... I don't know what that means. Gender is completely fluid and open to individual choice. As one overexcited activist argued in Slate in 2014, quote, with infant gender assignment, in a single moment, your baby's life is instantly and brutally reduced from infinite potentials down to one concrete set of expectations and stereotypes, unquote.
No, your baby is not assigned a gender. The doctor looks at its genitals and mentions its sex. Fuck, I hate these people. Keep going.
Sex is observable, not assignable.
If the movement has its way, asking boy or girl would become as unacceptable as smoking, or maybe even legally prescribed. Already among woke media types, there is a taboo against dead-naming transgendered people. It is verboten to remind readers that Chelsea Manning was once named Bradley. There, I did it. A Canadian bill passed this summer restricts discrimination on the basis of gender expression. That provision, proponents hope, will lead to monetary damages, non-financial remedies, and public interest remedies for those who dare to use a non-preferred pronoun. And yet, they insist, the bill won't trample free speech. California has enacted similar legislation. We talked about that the other day. Now comes the Associated Press's gender rewrite. In a series of tweets on Tuesday explaining the changes first promulgated earlier this year, the AP's editors contended that, quote, gender refers to a person's social identity, while sex refers to biological characteristics. And they admonished writers to, quote, avoid references to being born a boy or girl, unquote. The venerable news agency also endorsed the language and prose disfiguring use of they, them as a singular pronoun. It even left open the door to more exotic made-up pronouns such as Z and Zir.
Real quick, let me do this because I'm falling behind on some super chat here. Thank you, Point Curation. George-Orwell, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, org, open parenthesis, backslash, close parenthesis, 1984, open parenthesis, backslash, close parenthesis, 1, open parenthesis, period, close parenthesis, HTML. I'm assuming that is a website. I don't know, but there it is if you guys want to type it out to find it. Also, thank you, Point Curation. Also, what's wrong with selling some expectation, some sort of reference point that has served you well, which your child can pursue or not? That's part of my problem with the whole, gender assigned at birth thing. Say, for argument's sake, that transgenders are real. That's something a child can make their choice on later if they want to. Like when they're an adult and hormones won't hurt them. I didn't mean to interrupt your story if there's more to this stupidity. So please carry on.
All right, just a little bit more. There's only like 2 paragraphs left. The AP and its defenders will say that the move is necessary because journalistic prose should reflect evolving norms and usages. And they will argue that adhering to trans pronoun preferences is a matter of respect. But social norms are only evolving, quote unquote, among a narrow progressive cohort. Most AP readers still use he, she, sex change, and the like. Most people dead name. The AP is actively pushing norms in a certain direction and calling it evolution. As for respecting individuals, surely there are ways to do that without violating journalism's core truth-seeking function. To suggest that Jenner was never born male is absurd and illogical. The AP's news style rules won't change a reality which is written into human nature and which men and women people have encountered since time immemorial. Such language games will only discredit the media and underscore the Orwellian aspect of the transgender movement. The end.
It's fucking retarded.
Yep. I just did a video on this yesterday.
Thank you, Sanguine. The idea anyone, God damn it. Give me a second. I'm going to try this again one more time. The idea everyone can become anything needs to die. You can become anything that is within the threshold of your abilities, natural and learned. Absolutely. And thank you so much, Sweeper. This is so much cancer. It really is. That is fucking retarded.
How about something funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can let that go.
This one comes from Colleen Bernier. Instagram star Kristen Hancher accidentally live streamed sex session with boyfriend to her 14,000 followers.
Accidentally, my ass.
The American social media star didn't realize that her phone had picked up the audio of the couple getting steamy for 3 whole minutes. Wow, her boyfriend is just a stallion, ain't he? An Instagram star was left red-faced, that's racist, when she accidentally live streamed a sex session with her boyfriend to 14,000 people. Kristen Hancher, and that following of 14,000 people probably just shot up by another 10. Kristen Hancher from LA was getting hot and heavy with her new partner Andrew Gregory without realizing she had recorded the entire thing for 3 whole minutes. It was then posted live on her Instagram story, of which 14,000 of her 3.9 million followers were watching at the time. 14,000 out of 3.9 million? I don't think those people are actually real or watching.
People sign up to things. Is she cute? Somebody probably beat off to her, accidentally hit subscribe. Happens.
Thankfully, the phone was face down. It managed to pick up the audio of the pair getting steamy. After realizing her huge gaffe, Kristen immediately took the post down from her social media site. Okay, and that's the story. And then there's pictures of her, and she's got about 17 layers of makeup shackled on her face. So, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, this is funny and tragic at the same time. And this isn't from MSS News. This was linked on the sidebar of the previous story. Okay, topless tourist killed as she's filmed hanging out of a car window by a pal on Holiday Island.
All right.
Let me guess. A topless tourist has been killed in a horror accident while she was hanging out of a car window. Natalia Borodin, wearing only a pair of tiny white bikini bottoms, was filmed playing around on Holiday as her female friend drove and filmed the action on a mobile phone. But the video ended with the Russian woman's muffled screams as she is believed to have hit a lamppost or a passing car. There's video of this happening. The Mirror has edited out the last couple seconds of the video to not show her being slammed or whatever.
Nice.
I am assuming you can find the full video elsewhere. This is the internet, so have at it. Do we want to do any more, or do we want to move on to YouTube stuff?
Let's move on to YouTube stuff.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for the stories. I forgot to mention, if you have stories you'd like us to take a look at over the course of the stream, send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. As can be seen, we'll look at the stories that we have. We might not get to them all, but we'll definitely take a look. So thank you again.
Oh my God, Bobby Bob. She hit a lamppost or a passing car. Did her tits go flying in opposite directions? Find the video and let us know. Wow. What a waste of breast. Well done.
Yeah, she was good looking too, which is well, I mean, even if she wasn't good looking, still insane. But anyway, moving on.
No, you already said what you meant, Scribe. Don't try to fix it.
It's true. My tongue is a shovel. I have dug my grave.
Okay, SDA, you first.
So I'm actually gonna have time to put up a video tomorrow, so that's gonna happen. And I'm gonna stream Final Fantasy 14 with Satsu as well tomorrow. So stuff's gonna happen tomorrow. Whenever we get around to it, probably during the day.
Cool. Okay. Scribbles.
I did ads today. You want me to do them now or wait?
I forgot it's ad day. We'll let you go. We'll let you go last.
Aside from that, though, I didn't do anything. So there you go.
Well done indeed. I'm gonna say the same thing. I didn't do anything. We are. Oh God! If you follow my wife on Twitter, you know the plumber was back out here today. At this point, we really should be able to claim him as a tax deduction. I had a rough day. That's why the stream was so late. Shit is going down at my house. That leaves our guest, Hammer. Working on anything?
I haven't worked on anything in a while. I've kind of gotten discouraged because there's so many people doing videos of the same thing over and over again. And I kind of wanted to do something different than everybody else, kind of like what Scribe does, where his videos aren't like current commentary, social commentary. They're more after academia, and he's found a niche, and it's awesome. I can't believe his sub rates are so low.
I know.
I haven't been able to do the same thing. I haven't been able to find something that is different from everything else. I was going after ranting feminists, not her personally, but the idea that feminists won't talk to people. I think that's a subject that hasn't been covered by anybody really. So that was what I was going to go after, but I can't seem to get a hold of her, even with your help. She still is putting me on.
I saw she did finally respond to you though, right?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a step at least.
Yeah. She said she put me on the list, so hopefully I can get to her soon and I can actually get a video going again.
You guys, are you streaming with anybody after you're done here?
Tonight, I'll be with the Chaos stream again tonight.
Okay. Whose channel is that on?
It rotates. Tonight's turn is the next 6 minutes.
Okay.
It rotates just like the Monkey stream does. We go each person. There's one person for every day.
Yep, I actually. Oh yeah, that was one thing I did today. I cut a new and clean ad for the Chaos 120 show for Sylvanas that
cool.
takes into account the set schedule of host rotation and all that fun stuff.
Real quick, I have a super chat from Point Curation, which is actually a question for us. If there was something worth making a video about, what would it be if you had more time to research it? For anyone in the chat or on stream. For me, there are very few videos I want to make that I haven't so far, because usually I make them on the fly. Something will get my attention, and that's what makes me want to do it. I obviously love my First Amendment stuff. I would love to go much more in depth with that and cover like where it was covered in both the Federalist and Anti-Federalist papers where it was discussed. But otherwise, I can't say that there's any one thing that I would do.
I know.
I'm sorry,
oh, sorry.
go ahead.
Well, I mentioned this a while ago, and I still want to do it, but I want to do a project where I actually talk about the different systems of government and political ideologies and just sort of go through it like a weird crash course type thing, which would take a lot of time. And a lot of time that right now I don't necessarily have, but I still want to do that because a lot of people seemed interested in it. But I'm kind of like Monkey. If I see something I want to make a video on, I'm just like, all right, well, I'm going to make a video now. All right, bye.
I would love to do, if I had the time and I could actually find the things, they're probably obscure as hell. I'd like to do sort of a timeline of the evolution of diversity and inclusion departments in companies. I'd like to find some promotional videos from like 10 years ago or whenever this kind of started, and just sort of, it might not even involve any commentary, but just sort of do a montage of how the language has changed up until now in the relatively short time that this has become such a fad. Because I'm curious. Well, I don't even know what I would. I'm just curious what I would find by doing that. Basically, that's all.
One ton. Anything?
Well, not really.
The only other thing I would like to do, I've talked about it many times. I would still love to do a series on how I make my videos, because I still get questions about that a lot.
Right.
But otherwise, yeah, that's all I have. And with that, I'm going to mute myself. I will still be listening, but it is ad time.
Yeah, and before I begin, I found the video of the girl leaning out of the car. Don't watch it. Just don't. Really. I mean, if you have a morbid curiosity, it's brutal. I mean, there's nothing particularly graphic, I suppose. It's just, yeah. Anyway, I mean, if you want a Halloween gross out, there you go. But man, that was just. And what a waste too. Gosh. Anyway, moving on. So let's get to something at least somewhat entertaining. So first on the list, we had Sanguine requested, in honor of your anniversary, a Moon Poon and Stoned Age time traveling crossover. Now, Moon Poon is one of my most famous ads, or movie ads. Stoned Age was another movie plot that I did a trailer for Sanguine a long time ago. I forgot what that was about. He reminded me on Twitter today, so here we go. Space Marshal Dirk McGuffin has spent his career keeping the lunar colony of Crater Valley safe from corruption and vice. But now, an incredible discovery, buried beneath the moon's surface for thousands of years, is about to threaten everything. A time portal, built by aliens, is letting the terrors of prehistory invade Crater Valley. As dinosaurs roam the dusty hills in search of blood, and waves of savage proto-humans seek conquest, two friendly, blitched-out cavemen emerge from the portal, looking for the woolly mammoth that made off with their peyote. Now, Dirk McGuffin must team up with the pair of narcotic Neanderthals to save Crater Valley and the moon itself from an evil 100 million years in the making. Get ready for the greatest showdown of all time. Poonstone, a Sanguine Studios production. If you don't know what that's a play off of, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm hoping Monkey's laughing right about now.
I like the tagline at the end. That was great.
Now, is Lady Monkey here? Because I have an ad for her. Monkey, is Lady Monkey here? I know you're muted yourself, but... Or maybe he's not there now. Okay, well, I will hold off on doing the Lady Monkey thing until I know that she's present, because I want to do that for her. Okay, Jessie Jess requested she wanted a trailer that involved steampunk, vampires, fidget spinners, and midgets. So I worked all that into this. In a world of steam power and clockwork timing, the galvanic sciences of Neo-Victoria have produced horrors from beyond life and death, vampires. But one of these creatures of blood and darkness wants a child of their very own, but is still too humane to transform a real child into ageless undeath. And so she seeks the only alternative for having the pitter-patter of little feet in the house. Midgets! Jessie Jess Studios, in association with Zek Pro, maker of fidget spinners, brings you a tale of horror lit by gaslight that answers the question, what's 4'10" with fangs? Midget sinners!
You fit everything in there. I can't believe it.
I know, it's amazing. Okay, Circus Zero wanted an ad for birthday candles. The one thing that is guaranteed in life is getting older. And what better way to mark the years that have passed than with coffin nails? The new birthday candles from Circus Zero. Just place these high-quality wax candles on your birthday cake, and when they're lit, each one will sob uncontrollably as they quickly burn away, reminding you and all your friends just how fleeting life is. Fun for the whole family. Find coffin nails at participating funeral homes.
I would buy those.
Is Lady Monkey here?
She is not.
Okay. I'll hold off on that until she's around sometime.
I don't know if she's going to be. If you want to do it, I will give her the timestamp.
Okay.
Unless you needed her live.
No, that's fine. Okay, so even though she said I didn't need to do an ad for her yesterday, I felt compelled to do something for her. So, who's the twister of the nips? Who's there for you and me? LadyMonkey, Lady Monkey, Lady Monkey, Lady Monkey, Lady Monkey. Forever, ever pull those nipples high, 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 high. Come along and sing the song and join the sadism. LadyMonkey.
Well done. Well done.
Okay, I've only got, 1, 2 left? 3 left. Okay, 3. Sanguine asked for a Clintons and Weinstein in a bumbling crime comedy movie. Here we go. What happens when a skeezy ex-president and a lecherous movie mogul trade stories of sexual conquests over too many drinks? A wager to see who can rack up the most sexual assaults in a 24-hour period and get away with them through intimidation and media influence. From Guy Ritchie, director of the frenetic crime classic Snatch, comes Grope, starring Bill Clinton and Harvey Weinstein as themselves, and Hillary Clinton as the bald-faced hypocrite caught in the middle. Grope, a comedy of criminal proportions that will grab your attention. And by attention, we mean tits. A Sanguine Studios production.
Well done.
Okay, then Sweeper Steven asked for an action movie with Scribe as president, and SDA had to have herself as queen. So, some dumb American has successfully become the Queen of Georgia on a platform of mayonnaise hatred and is attempting to secede her new fiefdom from the United States. Now, it's up to President Scribelight to lead America's fighting forces to once more oppose the crown. It's father against son, brother against brother, BFF versus BFF. life, liberty, and action await in The American Revolution 2, The Georgian Queen, directed by Sweeper Steven.
Well done.
All right, and lastly, Jordan 250 wanted a advertisement for the Scribelight advertising firm. So, do you have an idea for a product or film? Is it something so convoluted and ridiculous that it cannot be articulated through civilized conversation? To get your idea broadcast to the world effectively, you need someone you can trust, who has a basic English degree and who has few standards when it comes to whoring out his imagination. So when you want an ad, remember to call the Scribelight Advertising Agency. We turn your insanity into commerce.
Well done.
Very nice.
And das ist alles. So I'm done now.
Alrighty then. Do we have a prepared deep topic?
Well, I did find a Splinter article today.
Oh dear God, I'm afraid.
Now remember, Splinter is in the same network as The Root.
Yeah.
So let me go find it here. As long as I actually posted it, I did, didn't I?
This is the place that used to be called Fusion, right?
Well, here's the thing. Kind of. So Fusion is still posting content, even though Splinter was supposedly the new Fusion. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure they haven't just moved their editorial team from Fusion to Splinter, but left Fusion open as an outlet because they're still posting stuff. I don't quite get it, but anyway, ours is not to reason why, because God knows that would drive us all insane. All right, so the headline of this one is what grabbed my attention, because I don't know what they're talking about. The first step to recovery is admitting you're a racist.
Of course it is.
And this comes from someone named Molly Osberg, and this is filed under the category, "My name is Becky and I'm a racist."
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
Okay, here we go.
Can you see the picture of the author? Is she white?
I think so. Let me open up the... She looks like it. And again, I don't know. Maybe she's Puerto Rican. Maybe she's... Here, I'll post her link, and you can judge for yourself if it matters. But yeah,
she's light-skinned.
She doesn't look African American, but God knows who knows.
What did Cracker have to say?
Okay, so here's her story. And again, I don't even know what this is about, but here we go. His name is Charlie, and he might be a racist. The night he first drove his truck, the half hour from his home in Norman, through a predominantly black neighborhood on the way to Trinity Presbyterian, he admits he was a little nervous. He just heard on the news that Magdiel Sanchez, a deaf Latino man, had been shot. The neighborhood of Creston Hills is a case study in white flight. You're all over the place, lady. We're not even a paragraph into this.
Yeah, pick a subject.
Its elementary school was one of 9 in the area that reverted to virtually all black enrollment once the Supreme Court ended mandatory busing in the 90s. So Charlie, a 66-year-old engineer from Alabama, got to wondering if that's where the shooting had been and, quote, if there was going to be people marching in the streets and protests and police barricades and all that, he says. These days, it's not an unreasonable question to ask. Oh, but there weren't, she says. Her name is Sarah. Okay, I'm baffled. Okay, her name is Sarah, and she's not a racist. How do you know? But she's angry at being looked down upon for marrying a black man. So she's white? How do you know she's not a racist because she thinks black is better than white? Okay.
Maybe she married a black man so she could own him.
But she's angry at being looked down upon for marrying a black man, at worrying what the cops might do to her 19-year-old son out in the cornfields of Oklahoma, away from home for the first time at college, at the one-upsmanship of oppression where slights are pinged back and forth and she can't ever admit to having it hard because of her race. Not all whites are racist, she says, and just by the color of your skin, it's like you must have voted for Trump. Well, okay, Splinter sucks. The people they hire suck. And they don't have an editor. Or if they do have an editor, that person should be fired. Moving on. And she's furious at the investigator who won't go into the black neighborhood where her son, who would have been 29 this month, was killed in 2012, at the fact that they viewed him as a statistic and never solved the case. She is still haunted by the lady on the radio who said the only reason the case was getting attention in the first place is because Sarah is white.
I jumped ahead and this, oh my God. Okay.
Okay. Well, then you know more than I do because I don't know where this is going. Okay. His name is.
Until we get there.
Okay. His name, we're doing profiles of individuals, apparently. His name is Pastor Richard Mize, and he's a recovering racist. A former Baptist and self-proclaimed redneck who found God again somewhere between the Iraq War and Hurricane Katrina. The first time he heard the term white supremacy a few years ago, it was a hard pill. As a white person in America, quote, you can sense something's wrong, but until you have the words for it, you can't learn. Okay? So when Mize started his weekly Racists Anonymous meeting at Trinity Presbyterian around Easter this year, he was fairly ignorant about racism in the institutional sense. Quote, 3 degrees and 52 years of living, and I just didn't get it. Well, I guess you've had a revelation, huh? During some of these meetings, he's offended people he considered friends. But when you're, quote, being audaciously gracious with one another, unquote, he believes transformation can be achieved. 6 months after the first Wednesday night meeting, the group is called Facing Racism and Racists Anonymous. About 20 people attend, most of them around middle age. A handful are white, the rest black or brown, and like most places in America, it's as if there were an invisible line drawn down the middle of the room. The meeting opens with the Serenity Prayer. Lately, progressive churches have been invoking the Christian origins of the civil rights movement with more frequency, choosing from a menu of scriptural lessons to expel the demon of bigotry from their congregations once and for all. A study in August found that almost half of surveyed church leaders from across the United States had preached specifically on racial reconciliation in the last couple of months. Okay. Racism in the world is real. This is a quote, by the way. We should stop being in denial about it the way an alcoholic is in denial about alcoholism. Okay. For some churches, that means taking Jesus as an example of a political dissident or teaching God's limited forgiveness in a state that kills black men over and over again. For others, empathy and divine love may be enough to pave the way towards a harmonious, multicultural country. Quote, racism is ultimately a spiritual problem, an Arkansas pastor recently told Think Progress around the time his church organized a diversity conference. You can't legislate that out of people.
Oh, God.
In the days before this particular meeting, the pastor sends out readings, a psalm from Genesis, an Ibram Kendi quote about white self-interest, a drive-by trucker's song about police brutality. Quote, we can shrug and let it happen, the alt-country band sings, without asking what it means. I'm so lost beyond the fact that this is just...
Okay, maybe I'm just fucking retarded, which is totally possible.
Okay.
But is there a point, or am I just
okay. I guess we're working towards it because Monkey assures us there's something coming.
They've already given you giant hints.
Oh, I'm pretty sure, but I don't want to make assumptions. The Presbyterian Church, of which this congregation is a member, publicly repented in 2016 for failing to, quote, lovingly confront our brothers and sisters concerning racial sins during the civil rights era. During Wednesday night's meeting, the pastor reads from a pamphlet on white supremacy produced by the church last year. Quote, a spiritual dimension of racism that we are just beginning to understand is the degree to which power and privilege becomes addictive. Addiction means to be gripped by a compulsion, a craving, or a dependency that is strong and deeply embedded in the subconscious, and it is difficult to stop doing even though you realize what you are doing is wrong, unquote. Denial is one of the more common expressions of addiction to supremacy, the pamphlet said, and while not everyone here is a self-described privilege junkie, they say they're trying like hell to cure a national disease. In the summer of 1938, back when the compulsion to drink was generally regarded as a moral failing and not an illness, a man named Bill Wilson wrote down the 12 steps to overcoming addiction in a half-hour burst of divine inspiration. A year later, when he published the book Alcoholics Anonymous, he elaborated on how his program delivered by way of divine surrender, quote, "Remember that we deal with alcohol," he wrote, "cunning, baffling, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. But there is one who has all the power." Over the next several decades, Americans would find that many demons could be exorcised once they were separated from the self and cleansed one step at a time. Clutterers and under-earners and love's addicts. What? Okay, as well as millions of alcoholics would all come to anonymously admit they had a problem in America's church basements, placing their trouble in God's hands. And nearly 80 years after Wilson wrote those 12 steps, in January of 2016, a black pastor named Ron Buford, something of a progressive idol in the United Church of Christ, happened to overhear an AA meeting in his own mostly white California church as he was locking up for the night. An epiphany hit. Quote, "Racism in the world is real," he later explained. "We should stop being in denial about it the way an alcoholic is in denial about alcoholism." Buford started thinking in the AA way. Racism is an addiction, a sickness. Cunning, baffling, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. The gospel spread. Yeah.
Racism is a fucking addiction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Apparently.
It is a substance.
Real quick, thank you, Cryptic. My first day of school in the U.S., I was called a chink, shoved by a Hispanic kid, tripped by a white kid, and my ruler was broken by a black kid. I should be racist, but I'm not. Stupid knows no race. Thank you. Yeah, stupid people are everywhere.
Okay. So earlier this week, I did a video where TEDx lady redefined racism as an emotion. You know,
and now it's an addiction.
Yeah, she took the whole nurture aspect out of it and basically made it nature. She put it right up there with anger and greed, and said that racism was an emotion. Now, racism is some kind of drug. It's some kind of substance. It's some kind of high. I get high off of being racist, apparently.
We've just come to a level of stupid in this country that makes no sense to me. I just don't get it. We can't say he and she to men and women, and now being racist is an addiction. This is fucking retarded.
That God can help cure, by the way. That a belief in the one. And I wonder what the 12 steps are for racism. How do you step your way past a ideology of racial supremacy? I'm looking to see if there's a list. So far, I don't see anything, as I'm not going to read the rest of this crap.
Someone's going to create a course, and they're going to make money off of it.
Well,
yeah.
Chat, what do you think should be among the 12 steps?
Yes. Well, let me pull up the actual 12 steps of AA just for comparison's sake. I'll read off those to get some inspiration.
Well, one of the steps in AA is apologizing to people you've harmed.
Yes, that is true.
So, if you're a racist, doesn't that mean you have to go around and apologize to every black planet? Every black person on the planet? Because that's who you're racist. Well, assuming you're racist against black people.
Black planet, he's a hero, gonna take racism down to zero.
There should be a superhero named Black Planet.
Black Planet. Okay, step one. Wait, step one is like 17 pages. No, I'm not going to read that. Just give me the bullet points, for God's sakes.
Step one isn't that admitting you have the problem?
That's my understanding. I want to get an actual list because this thing's giving me like book pages. I don't want.
Oh, it's step one, higher power.
Okay.
I don't know. It's been a while since.
Okay, number one. Step one. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Okay. Number two. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Number three, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, were entirely ready to have God remove all of these defects of character. Yeah, so again, the abrogation of personal responsibility. Yeah, number 6.
It is, yeah.
7.
How does an atheist deal with all this?
I don't know.
Well, they've updated it so that they don't actually mention God. You just have to believe in a higher power, whether it's an actual God or just the universe itself.
Yeah.
They have made
Karma.
exceptions for that. Karma, yeah.
Okay, 7, humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings. Again, same thing as number 6 practically. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Right, my name is Earl. Right. 9, made direct amends to such people whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Okay. 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. It sounds repetitious. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. And 12, having a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to other alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs.
See, I have a much shorter, easier Alcoholics Anonymous program. It just involves not drinking. And if you follow that simple step, you will not be an alcoholic anymore. You're welcome.
It seems like a way of getting people into the church by
well, Alcoholics Anonymous was started it was religious when it was started, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I make jokes about it. I do have problems with it, very similar to what South Park brought up in their episode about it, where if you absolutely refuse to ever drink again, you are still letting alcohol control your life. That's not to say you have to go out and drink, but if you're doing it because you're afraid of it, then it is still controlling you. Now, that works for some people, so if it does, good for you. But with the higher power, and it's actually what happens at the end of the episode, is if you believe in this higher power, and that's what got you to stop drinking, and then for some reason your faith is shook, what's to stop you from going back? That is my problem with Alcoholics Anonymous. I believe that whether you believe in God or not, you are the person who stopped drinking. You can say, God helped me do it or whatever, but you were the one that did it, and you need to understand that yourself, that power was in you the whole time. Because your faith in a God can be shaken. Knowing you did something yourself, that's with you forever.
Right.
Chad, I can piss off tonight.
Hey.
Of course, that's coming from an agnostic. Hey, buddy. Squeaky door.
Squeaky door.
Is that sunky or clunky?
Clunky.
It just seems like religion's taking advantage of somebody who's in a vulnerable position.
Well, again, it has helped a lot of people, so I don't want to take that away from them. But man, I just think the way to build somebody back up is to build them up. Crack says, "Ranked monkey, you dirty fence sitter." That's right. It's comfortable up here. Man, that is just so stupid. It's an addiction. Racism is an addiction.
I'm sorry I'm not talking a whole lot. It's just like, I just don't really like talking about religion. I'm not ignoring you guys.
Nope, that's fine.
It's just not my thing. Sorry, I just wanted to be like, I'm still here, I'm still alive. I'm sorry.
What do you think about racism being an addiction?
I mean, okay, part of me gets it because it's kind of like if you're addicted to the power trip that being an asshole might give you, but I think that's just you're a fucking dickwad anyway. If you're addicted to some kind of power trip, if that makes sense. Kind of like I was talking to my dad about Harvey Weinstein, like, oh, he's going to rehab. It's like, for what? How do you go to rehab for being a disgusting old man?
Yeah, exactly.
You're just a fucking cunt. Like, that's it. And I know I said the C word. Was it weird?
No. There's something said to me in chat that annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I stand on it. Like I said, I'm sorry, I'm just not. I don't really want to talk about religion.
I guess you can get therapy to try to be a better person. That's the stretch that I can come up with, but not much beyond that. If you're a bad person, all you can do is, try to be a better person.
I don't. I see what you're saying. I mean, you're being very generous there.
Trying to be.
But I've never heard of a therapy to not grope women randomly because you're on a power trip. Maybe that'd be very specific to Hollywood and they could probably use it. But what was said to me, and I do want to address this. I know you guys have been taught that if you're an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic. That's not true. It's just not. And yes, this is something I've experienced personally. If you never drink again, alcoholism is not a problem for you. And you can say, oh, I want to drink. Yeah, people want to do things all the time that they don't. But this is the only disease we ever say can never be cured. And one, that is a horrible thing for anybody to say to somebody with a disease, that you will never be cured. Now, there are diseases that we know that's possible, or that's true at the moment, but science is still looking for ways to cure those diseases, because most diseases we can cure. The idea that you are always beholden to that drink is antithetical to the idea of treatment itself. Scribbles.
Yes.
Are you over there looking for other stuff, or are you just waiting for me to hang myself?
No, I was just giving my voice a rest. I've talked enough tonight already.
Cool.
We have a guest besides.
Yeah, so let's talk to Hammer for a little bit.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
What? Well, sure. Let's deal.
Where were you on the
night
night of the
14th? Have you ever hung out with Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah. Or has he ever hung out with you?
I wouldn't hang out with Harvey. He gets all the action. I get nothing.
Oh, sorry, Peter. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones movies. Hit that like button. Share. Please. Thank you so much. My interactions with MGTOW become something of part of my legacy. And somebody mentioned earlier in the chat that they thought it was funny I'd have a MGTOW on here. So you are MGTOW, yes?
Yeah. The reason I hesitate
but you're not.
Yeah.
He says reluctantly.
I say reluctantly. The reason I say yes is because I don't want to call it an ideology, because I don't believe MGTOW is an ideology, but a lot of ideologies out there have people who are centrist, and then you have the radicals. You have vegans who are, okay, I can understand the frustration with vegans. Then you have somebody like Vegan Gains. And then you have feminists who are, okay, they're bad enough. Then you have Christy Winters. So you always have this radical element, and I am not the radical element. I am not Angry MGTOW. I'm not Sandman. I'm not any of those guys, because they are not, as much as everyone wants to believe it, and just because they have the words in their name, they are not MGTOW. They are simply women haters.
I would agree with that. Yeah, they just don't like women, and I have my guesses as to why, but I'll save those. I'll keep those to myself. What made you MGTOW?
After
my last question on MGTOW for you.
Well, this is kind of a strange thing, but I was married at one point, but the marriage did not put me in that position. After the marriage ended, and I'm still very good friends with my ex-wife, a friend of mine said, well, you're lucky. And I said, lucky what? I mean, ending a marriage is never a good thing. He says, but she could have taken you for everything. And I was like, well, yeah, but that's not my wife. She would never do that. And he says, yeah, but everyone else will. He says, don't you look at the law? Don't you realize what position you were putting yourself into by getting married? And now this guy didn't consider himself MGTOW. He was a lawyer. He was just seeing it from the legal position. And he said, look, and he showed me the statistics for what happens to a guy when he gets divorced. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. 98% of women get child custody. 91% of white women divorce the man before the man divorces the woman. I mean, all these statistics that he was showing me just scared the hell out of me. And I thought, well, until the justice system gets straightened out, I'm just not going to deal with marriage. I can't put myself in the position that I could have my life ruined. I could be potentially in indefinite servitude to somebody because the laws are screwed. So I look, this is very much not anything to do with women. Like, I have 2 girlfriends. There's nothing against women. I love my women. But the whole point is I have to protect myself legally from what could happen to me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's all it is.
See, that's why I give MGTOWs a lot of shit, but I do see a lot of the points that MRAs bring up and that MGTOW bring up. And I just wonder why MGTOW and not MRA. And if you don't want to answer that, that's fine.
No, I have no problem answering any questions about this.
Okay, why MRA? Why MGTOW, not MRA?
MRAs are not going to win. The forces against them are so high, and it's only getting worse. It's not getting better. For all the fighting that they're doing, they can't even show a movie in Australia. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, I get that, but don't you think the fight is worth it?
It is worth it. I'm just not going to be involved with it. There are people who are dedicated to doing it. If they do it and they make progress, yippee, I'm 100% happy for them. But I don't see them making progress. No, SJWs, for as much as we fight them on YouTube, in the real world, it's not going away. It's getting worse. They wanted to take away. They wanted to take away Father's Day.
I absolutely agree with you on that. I after the election, I saw so many people, we're winning. I'm like, you're not. Nope. You're really not. Thank you, Point Curation. Point wants to know what's your favorite kind of cheese?
Provolone.
Scribbles, what's your favorite cheese?
Gouda, smoked Gouda, because it's Gouda.
That's a strong cheese.
Better not just be a dad joke.
No, really. Smoked Gouda is great. Like you melt it. I had this dish, baked Gouda chicken, at this really fancy restaurant one time. Oh, it was so good. Oh,
I like a nice creamy cheddar jack. I really do. SDA, do you like cheese? She's muted, so we'll have to give her a second.
Sorry, what's up?
No, you're fine. Do you have a favorite kind of cheese?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Although that's such a stressful question. I'm a girl and I'm Italian. You can't ask me to choose.
Italian? I thought you were from Connecticut.
I'm Italian from Connecticut. Duh.
That leads me to my next question that's not MGTOW related. In your opinion, what is the biggest issue facing society right now? Let's go from a political standpoint. I like to keep the questions easy.
I think the divisiveness between the two sides, the whole deal with Republicans, Democrats, conservatives, and liberals is gotten so wide now that I'm afraid violence is the next thing. I don't see the whole Civil War thing. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's going to start getting to the point where people are going to start bringing guns to these protests and shooting each other.
I could see that. I actually think if that happens, though, I think we'll see at least some retreat, because I think the press would be forced to accept their responsibility in it. But it would have to be pretty bad for that to happen, like open warfare on the street there. What do you like to do with your spare time?
I am an amateur race car driver. I'm a big computer geek, so I build laptops and stuff like that for people and that kind of thing. So it's computers and cars for me.
Nice. Do you actually race?
Yeah. Several times a year I go down to either Watkins Glen or Summit Point Raceway or something like that and race. They have categories for cars and all that kind of stuff. So I usually do pretty well.
Thank you, Point Curation. Also, a good point about why MGTOW and not MRA. It's like asking why a woman isn't a feminist. Someone doesn't need to be in a group like that. Yeah, I understand that. The reason I asked him why he would be one and not the others, because I understand why people wouldn't be MRA, but somebody who has an issue with the way things are going, to the point where they would like associate with MGTOW as you do, why they wouldn't want to join the fight. And your answer's fine. I have no problem with the answer, but that's why I asked that question. Where's that accent from that I'm hearing, if you don't mind me asking?
Do I have an accent?
You have a slight accent. It's almost Gutenberg, but it's very light.
Give me that damn link. I don't know. I mean, I'm in Pennsylvania, northeastern Pennsylvania. So is that the accent you're hearing?
You're Gutenberg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why you sound like Gutenberg, because you have his accent, and yeah, you sound like Gutenberg.
Oh,
I have a very nice voice, though. I want to point that out.
Thank you. You've said that several times. I blush every time you say it, because the only reason I ever got behind the mic is because I liked your voice.
Well, how could you not? Mine's, and I'm so humble about it too. Thank you. The press wouldn't retreat, and it wouldn't fess up. It would push for more gun control. You're probably right. You actually probably are. Allow me my delusions, damn it. Do you guys have any questions for Hammer? Anyone? Bueller?
They've been asking me some questions. They asked me about what class I race in and that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, you can answer any of these. What class do you race?
I am unmodified stock. Private is the class I race under. So there's only a few things that I can do to my car, but basically it's an older Corvette 02 Z06. So I race against NSXs and Porsches and that kind of stuff.
Is it straight track or?
No, it's course.
Cool.
Summit Point and Watkins Glen, and I've been at VIR. I always get it backwards. I always say VRI. It's VIR, Virginia International Raceway. They're all courses. I drag a little bit too, but not too much. It's very hard on the transmission.
Excuse me. Platty says he doesn't need to know any more about you.
We spent a lot of time in Discord, so a lot of the people from the 2 other streams I do have heard all of this before. I'd like to go over and hang with Minding Freedom if I can get my car overseas so I can hit the Nürburgring. That's a dream of mine.
The what now?
The Nürburgring. It's a test. Well, it's a huge track in Germany. A lot of automobile manufacturers design their cars and then run them on the Nürburgring to see how they perform in real life.
Oh, fuck you. Academic Hub, I do not favor more gun control, for the love of fuck.
Oh, no.
For the love of fuck.
We already went through this, didn't we?
Dun, dun, dun. Don't make me name another stream after that in jest. The Ring and a Bet sounds fun.
That's why
you're in your mid to late 50s, you told us?
54.
What's the biggest change you've seen in your adult life?
Socially?
Anything.
Wow, there's a lot of changes. That's a tough question.
Okay, what would you say is the most important, most impactful?
I would have to say the rise of SJWs, really, because it's spread like, it literally is spread like a cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so off center. I can't wrap my head around it.
Do you have a favorite SJW?
Wow, there's so many. Steve Shives and Christy Winters and
Butthole Lips.
Butthole Lips.
You can't mention him without saying Butthole Lips. That's a rule.
There's some moist lips there. Jeez. Favorite SJW, I guess I would probably say, who's that? I can't remember her name. Really short hair. Milo. What's her last name? Milo Stewart.
Milo Stewart. Stewart.
Yeah. Because she's I think you look at her before feminism and where she is now, and it's like a whole completely different person. Feminism has just changed this person entirely. She's not anywhere near the same person she was before.
She's not. Oh, thank you, Point Curation. What is your least favorite aspect of social justice? We'll get to that question in 1 second. Milo is one of those ones. There's very few on YouTube that you can do this with. Ash Hardell's another, where you can actually chronicle it from the start.
Yeah.
And just watch it turn to absolute shit.
Yeah.
So what's your... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's every bit as dramatic with Ash Hardell too.
With Ash, I find it even more disheartening because if you watch Milo in the beginning, she was kind of crazy to begin with. Very angsty kid from the beginning, where Ash was this bubbly, fun young lady who was just out enjoying life. And it's you can watch the fucking life just get sucked right out of her. 2-point curation's question: what is your least favorite aspect of social justice?
It would have to be feminism, but I try to keep an open mind on it because of people like ranting feminists who are not out to destroy, like a lot of them are. But I think really that's been the start of a lot of bad things.
For me, I would say it's the lack of accountability. I really do. This pisses me off so much. I don't know if you watch Camille Paglia. If you don't, you really should. And watch her talk about feminism when she started out. It was all about not only getting the rights that men had, but the responsibilities that came with it. And now it's all about gimme, 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 but don't you dare hold me accountable for anything. Right. That is where so many things go wrong. So
we don't want to be in the draft, but we want to be CEOs.
Yeah. Well, who was it I saw? Oh, it was the Sargon debate. I finally got to watch that. I didn't get to see the very end when they were taking questions. I only saw like the first 3 questions, but Sargon at MythCon, they were talking about that. And he asked the idiot he was arguing with, how come women don't want, like sewer jobs? And he actually said, well, you'd have to ask men why they do want those jobs. Yes, men grow up. When we're little boys, all of us sit around hoping one day to work in a goddamn sewer. It was just like, you're an idiot. As you know, you've seen the show many times. This is when we open it up to chat. Do you mind taking questions from chat?
No, not at all.
I hope not, because we're going to do it anyway. Chat, this is your time. Questions, comments, concerns. We have a guest here. Make sure you ask him questions. He is MGTOW. He's willing to talk about it. Don't be an asshole. That's my job. That's all right. You can be an asshole if you want to. So if you have questions, now's the time to ask. What else? What other questions do I have? Oh, what kind of non-political YouTube stuff do you like to watch?
Non-political stuff. I'm a big Trekker. And I was
a big what now?
Trekker, Trekkist.
Oh,
whatever that is.
Trekker. I'm with you. Yeah.
I can name episode names and all that kind of stuff. I'm really crazy with that.
So you're actually a Trekkie.
Oh yeah, I'm huge. Well, science fiction in general, but Trek specifically. I loved Firefly. That's a big thing. I'm a brown coat. That whole thing.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a big movie buff. Me and Scribe would get along really well.
We shall see.
Savannah says, "You're Renting Monkey. You're my friend and all, but fuck you. He my co-host. I can be an asshole to him if I want to be."
She loves me,
and
she won't admit it. But
I can ignore your question. Okay, here we go. We got a question here from Cracked. The One-Ton Hammer. How do you handle relationships while adhering to MGTOW principles?
MGTOW's. I know this is kind of splitting hairs. People are going to give me a shit for this, but MGTOW doesn't really have principles, kind of more like guidelines. And like I said, it's not an ideology. It's more of a philosophy. And basically it is, don't get married, don't cohabitate, don't have kids. And each one of these is based directly on law. Don't get married. That way you won't have to pay for, when you, what's the term when you get divorced and you still have to pay the woman? Alimony.
Alimony.
You don't have to pay for alimony anymore, which is, I know MGTOWs use the resources thing. I don't go for that so much. Kids are another way to have to continue to pay money, and cohabitation rules end up giving you putting you in a position where you have to pay money. All of it's about taking all your money away. If you want to have a relationship with a woman, if you follow these rules, you can still have it. Like I said, I have 2 girlfriends. I love both of them, and I have a good relationship with both of them, and they understand where I'm at, and it's consensual. They know, and the advantage in some ways is there's no end to the honeymoon period. You meet a girl, you fall in love, there's a honeymoon, and then you get married, and then you live life. Well, and we never get to the married and live life. It's constantly a honeymoon. It's It's making dates and being, you know, alone together, and you know, you can do this stuff while being married, but I don't need a piece of paper to be intimate with my girl, you know, or respect her, or that kind of stuff. So just because I'm MGTOW doesn't mean I hate women. That's the real problem, and that's the reason why I hate. Literally, I don't hate many things, but I hate Angry MGTOW. I hate Sandman even more than SDA does. I know that's hard to believe, but I was there live when that all happened, and I almost wanted to punch my screen. I wanted to reach out and just strangle Angry MGTOW because he is making my life so difficult.
No, you know what? He would probably really like that. I think he'd be into it, and I think that he would get a boner, which would make everybody uncomfortable. So don't strangle him. Just let him strangle himself.
Yeah. He makes my life so difficult.
I have to ask, and it's been asked by Asian Hippie here, is soup cereal? And the actual is cereal soup.
Well, I tried to prove you wrong when this first came out, and I was unable to do so because I tried to point out that soup was water-based and cereal can be dry. You really don't see much dry
soup. This is why you can't trust MGTOWs.
I tried to be wrong. I was unable to do it. The only thing I've ever been able to come up with, I think, is a valid thing is that if soup is cereal, cereal is soup, why are there two names in the dictionary?
There's different names for soups that have, I mean,
wait a minute,
it's just a type of soup.
Oh, it's a type of soup.
It's a type of soup.
Okay. So do you ever have tomato cereal? Because there's tomato soup.
I've never heard of a tomato cereal. I'd try it if it was. I love tomatoes, so
I can try to get you, but I'm not going to get you. You believe what you believe.
You can't get me because I win again.
I know. I don't even try.
Where was there was a question here. Somebody asked. They said you. I apologize whoever asked this. The chat jumped on me, but I do remember the question. You said you race. What kind of racing do you watch? Do you watch NASCAR, F1? What do you watch?
I watch just about everything. Yeah, I watch a little bit on TV. I don't watch TV too much. I like watching YouTube, and it's kind of a sick thing, I guess. Here's the pervert part of me, but I like watching NASCAR and Indy race crashes.
Oh, I love race crashes.
Oh man, that's so fun. Watching a NASCAR flip 5, 6, 7 times. I know it's morbid, but
an Indy car when the front of it just lifts up on them.
Yeah, or they drive over someone's rear wheel or something like that, and the car just flips up in the air. Oh my god, that's so much fun.
How'd you choose your name?
Oh, that's a good thing. Back when I was much younger, I used to play Quake online like crazy. I was actually in a group that we were kind of famous at that point in time, and there was a website dedicated to Quake called 10 Ton Hammer.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so I wanted to retain some of my. I've always been a big fan of ID Software, who makes Quake. So I always want to keep that. You know, some of my online presences still have the name I used when I was in my Quake clan called Lowball. My license plate is Lowball, so I've carried that with me even since my 20s. So I wanted to do something along that lines when I decided to start making videos. So 10 Ton Hammer popped in my head, and I was like, well, I don't want to be them, you know, but I will steal a little bit. So why not just call myself the 1 Ton Hammer?
There you go, guys. Base Mama says, so MGTOW's all about money. I thought it was all about not losing your kids. I think that's MRNA.
Did you see that super chat, Mookie?
Not losing your kids is part of it. It is part of it. That's why you don't have kids when you're married. I mean, if you want to have, if you're a male and you want to have a kid, there's adoption. So you can have a kid if you want. And if you get married and then get divorced, she can't take that kid away from you. It was your kid before the marriage. So that's one of the problems with marriage is if you get divorced, you're a man, you lose your kids. Almost always.
Thank you, Point Curation. Want transcripts of Sargon Thomas debate? No, thanks. I watched it. I actually liked listening to it live. It was funny. I don't know if you guys were paying attention to Twitter while the debate was going on live. Shu was losing her mind because she thought Sargon was just being horrible. I thought Sargon did very well. I thought there's a couple of times when he kind of stepped on his dick a little bit, but for the most part, he handled that debate very well. And when somebody, the question and answer period is one of my favorite parts because at the beginning, there's a girl who stands up or woman, sorry, says she's an atheist woman and we need to get women out of churches. And she doesn't think two white men sitting up on the stage talking about it is going to accomplish that. And Sargon goes, I'm sorry, I'm white. I'll try not to be next time.
Yeah, it was a great line.
Like, thank you so much. Yes, Bobby Bob says she overreacted. She really did. Yeah, I don't know what she saw because I didn't see it. Let's see. I'm sure there was questions here. Sorry, guys, the chat jumped on me. So if you want to ask again, please do so.
There were a lot of question marks in there.
Lots of question marks. Lots of question marks. There's an argument going on gun control in here. Whoops. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that was a tough subject that got me in trouble on the Chaos stream. We were talking about gun control.
Oh yeah, and what you did? Can I ask?
Yeah. Well, I was trying to solve a problem. One of the people in the stream was talking about how he tried to get a gun and it took him 2 years. And I did not ask my question correctly several times. But what I was trying to say was, is there something the federal government can do to make sure that that doesn't happen? And one of the people in the stream is very pro-gun, and saying that the government should step in gun control offended him, and he quit from the stream midstream. I feel really bad about it, and I apologized at the end of the stream, but I have a feeling I'm lost to him now, so I feel bad about it.
Yeah, that sucks.
Maybe time will heal. We'll see.
That'd be cool. No bullshit's in the chat. Hey, how you doing, bud?
That's a favorite of mine. No bullshit.
I got to work with him one time a long time ago, and we've been talking about doing it again ever since, and it just keeps fucking it up. So no bullshit. I'm free on Sunday, so I'm gonna hit you up. We'll do a stream sometime. Guys, we need more questions for Hammer, because otherwise I'm gonna start bugging him about MGTOW again.
Uh-oh.
Let me ask you this, because
no problem with it.
I am. That's what I do.
I can actually answer questions or answer some of the things that you said the first time I was on this show, because I remember Scribe saying something. I remember you saying something, and you said, I'm thinking back, so this might not be 100% accurate, but you said that you didn't see the commitment in it, or something along that lines, like you felt that because you're MGTOW that you were going to be lonely. That was the point you made. And Scribe said, if you're MGTOW, aren't you supposed to be going your own way? And there were two good. Well,
I'll take your word for it. I'm not quite sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain I know what you're talking about, and let me give everybody context here. This goes back mostly to Sandman, and I know you hate Sandman, and you've told us why. But in Sandman's video that last I checked, he still had on his the video that you pop to if you go to his channel. Mm-hmm. He has his introduction to MGTOW. And
I love that.
I'm
sorry, I fucking love Sandman. I was watching him this morning because he had one about like dating beauty queens, and it's funny to me the way that Sandman talks about women. I'm like,
Sandman here.
Hi everyone, Sandman here, and today we're gonna fuck my life. And hi Sandman, and it's
that's
just
as far as I can get. I had to close the video at that point.
It's so methodical and just so like tedious and underhanded, and in the way that he talks about women. I'm like, you literally talk about women the way that you think women talk about you.
Yeah.
Because you're getting into everything.
Sandman is dangerous. There's a difference between Angry MGTOW and Sandman. Angry MGTOW's an idiot who's using the MGTOW platform for likes. That's the only reason he's doing it, is for money. Believe me, he's not truly a MGTOW. He's just a woman hater looking for money.
Yes, Sandman, I would agree with that 100%.
Sandman is a true believer. He's a scary guy. I wouldn't want to meet him in real life.
Vagina smells like butter, but only when they're trying to come and take your mind. Anyway, in his introduction to MGTOW, he lays out the four steps of MGTOW. The first one, you're just kind of a little bit worried about women, At level 2, that's when you decide you're not going to get married anymore. Level 3, you don't talk to women basically at all. And then level 4, you cut yourself off from all of society and just go jack off in the woods. The last part is me. I added that.
I've seen your pictures of the woods. I believe you.
I was about to say, Monkey's an ecosexual.
Yes, I am. I will fuck a tree.
Yeah. He looks for the crotch in the tree and just goes for it.
But at that point, and even then, I tried to separate between what I considered a rational MGTOW, because I do believe you can be rational and MGTOW, and what I see from like Sandman, who I'm told, by the way, is a rational MGTOW. But if you take his steps, there's no choice but to end up lonely. Would you agree with that? At least following his steps?
Oh yeah. I mean, like I said, he's a scary guy. Some mentally unbalanced kind of deal going on with him, because the fact that you would be a MGTOW and then create steps like a program.
Yeah.
What are you out of your mind?
They're the levels.
He's a strange guy.
Apparently level 4 is Joker from Dark Knight. You just want to watch the world burn. He actually says that. You just want to watch society crumble. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually very happy you've stuck around and put up with my bullshit ragging on MGTOWs.
Not ragging. I just feel like I'm explaining to people how actually rational it can be if you see it for just those 3 guidelines like I do.
And yeah, like I said, you've actually helped me moderate myself on how I fuck with MGTOWs, because there are some who deserve it. Sandman deserves every ounce of shit he gets, and probably more.
Yes, he does. You're absolutely right.
But I think with any, and I know you don't like the word ideology, so I'll use your word, any philosophy like that, when you're going to attract some crazies, the crazies end up defining the movement. And again, I know you guys don't like the word movement, but I have it. What is the problem with calling it a movement?
The problem I have with calling a movement is the term movement usually shows something moving and then eventually stops. It would be more like saying a revolution, or revolution never stops. So I'd be more comfortable with revolution than I would be with movement. But both of them give you the feeling that there is a club or a group or an organization, and there is none. MGTOW, like nobody else, is not organized.
It's a lifestyle.
It's not BLM. There's no organization. It's not feminism. They have no political power. It doesn't fit any of the others. It doesn't even fit veganism, because there are groups within veganism. There's no groups in MGTOW. It's right there in the word, MGTOW, men going their own way. There is no organization. That's the whole point, is to not be a part of an organization, any organization.
But saying it's there in the words, I'm a happily married man. Couldn't you say I'm going my own way?
No, not if you're married. Because you put yourself in the position of, I love Lady Monkey. She always says hi to me. I think she's fantastic. But if she decides, you're screwed, dude. You have no recourse. It's like Title IX. There's nothing that's going to prevent you from getting screwed. And any married man is going to be in that position. My best friend is in this position. His wife, his girlfriend right now is just strangling him because he had a daughter with her. And now she's like, any argument? Well, I'm just going to take my daughter and leave. And it's like, oh man, there it is right there.
And I get what you're saying there, but from the term of going my own way, I made this choice. I did it myself.
Sure.
So wouldn't a better name be men who don't want to get screwed or something like that?
Yeah, I don't think it's quite as catchy, but yeah, I agree. Can we make an answer?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I understand what you're saying. I get the difference you're pointing out there, but to me, that's not saying it's men going their own way. Unless you are part of a group, I would say pretty much every man is that way. Whether they
why not just call it like legally unencumbered,
or not following traditional society.
I think you guys should go with fuck bitches.
Yeah, I mean, I get the difference he's talking about. It's like, you know, you've abrogated part of your own freedom and ability to choose for yourself to your partner, to your children, etc. It's not necessarily a pejorative. It's not like you've done something bad or not necessarily, but no. You've put your freedom at risk by giving over some of your autonomy to another person's whim.
You have to understand that I would get married. And everyone's like, you're not MGTOW then. No, I just wouldn't get married in the U.S. because these laws are only in the U.S. People don't understand. George Clooney was MGTOW. He would not get married, and he did not get married in the U.S. He got married in Italy. Their rules are completely different, and that's why he got married there. Leonardo DiCaprio, MGTOW. People don't know this. They think that, you know, it's just some crazy guy on YouTube. No, like people in real life, I've shaken hands with MGTOW. How many people here have shaken hands with somebody who's really a MGTOW? Nobody, right?
I wouldn't shake hands with a MGTOW because I have a feeling I know what they've been doing with their hands. You wash them fuckers first. I want to see it.
I wash my hands every day.
Yeah, I forgot to bring this up at YouTube time. There was a little bit of drama going on today, and it involves my old friend Theron Meyer. Susanna Moores, I think is how you say that. Rose, I don't know. Did some video. I still haven't watched the video, and Theron lost her fucking mind in the comment section. Just berated this poor girl, and I believe the poor girl is actually also a tranny. Oh, tranny's a bad word. What do we call them? Transgender. That's the word now.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this is just, and it's apparently Susanna. I think it's supposed to be Susanna, but they use Z, so I'm saying Susanna. Okay. Made a video calling out Contra. I don't know why anybody pays attention to Contra. I'm fairly certain.
I love Contra. I know the Contra code.
We had a question the other day. Has anybody ever beat Contra without using the code? I have.
I've seen people do it plenty of times. Yeah, I
watched my friend. The game was really not that hard.
No, if you have pattern recognition abilities, you can beat it relatively easily. And reflexes, you got to have some hand eye.
If anybody wants to see the drama going on there, I recommend going on to Susanna's channel. That is ZUZANNAMROZ. Is that what it was? Something like that. Anyway. Guys, we have 8 minutes left. If you have any other questions, now's the time. I probably ignored many that you've asked, so ask again if you would. Contra Points looks like a joke of a human being. I think it's a troll, but I'm not certain. I think Contra is probably a troll. I'll throw that out there. Is there anything you'd like to ask us, Hammer?
You know, I listen to the stream every night. I think I know you guys pretty well. Yeah. So
we're open books around here.
Mostly.
1-ton Hammer. If not a Corvette, what would you race?
I'd have to say something foreign because short of the Corvettes, nothing really handles well around corners. For some reason, American cars are only good in a straight line. They really can't handle like most, able to get BMW off the bat. BMWs just handle great. They're just a great handling car. And you put stuff like Mustangs and stuff up against them, you just run away from them because they can't take corners. So for much as I hate, Pretzel Land, I call it Pretzel Land because it's Bavaria where they make pretzels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and BMWs, Bavarian Motor Works, BMW. Mm-hmm. I as much as I say that I hate pretzel cars, I'd probably pick up a BMW, something cheap, 325i or something like that.
You don't have to answer this question, but Cody wants to know who's your favorite Lord of the Night.
That is a tough question. Everybody has their strong points. I used to love when
there's SDA, a correct answer. There's a correct
SDA.
Answer. I just want you to know.
SDA is the correct answer. Okay.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Thank you.
SDA used to put a flag behind on her things. I loved that. You should go back to doing that from time to time because every time I watched your show, I immediately felt patriotic by seeing that flag. Scribe has a very scalpel-like delivery whenever he's doing something. The precision, he just picks people apart, and it's so funny and entertaining. And then the passion in Monkey's voice, it's hard to compare you guys because you all have some really strong points when you do your videos. I to be honest with you, and without blowing too much smoke, I admire all three of you and your ability to create content.
Oh,
have you ever been a politician?
No, but
that was a very, very good answer.
Thank you.
Nope. Thank you for the donation, Monkey. I'm having an argument here. You can't end. You're having an argument. You're not going to be able to win. I've been there.
Join us on Monkey's Discord.
Yeah, I need to get in there still. I won't be able to do it tonight because when I muted myself during ads, it was so I could go check on things, and I'm going to be up for half the night trying to fix a fucking drain.
Have you adopted the plumber yet?
Oh, I'm going to have to. Donald the Repentless says, renting Monkey Lantern shirt. Should I post a pic or a vid or a pic on Twitter? If you have a pic and you want to post it on Twitter, yeah, please do so. I would love to see that. I need to get myself one of those. That is my favorite monkey I've ever made. I love my Monkey Lantern.
Jacob J asks, what track have you raced on again? I've raced on Summit Point. I've raced on Watkins Glen, and I've raced on VIR. They're all East Coast between Pennsylvania. I have a house in Virginia as well. So anywhere between Northeast Pennsylvania and South Virginia, I've raced on most of the tracks in that area.
Thank you, James Cock. James Cock. I love that you're joining in with our little things here. Here's some cigarette money, Monkey. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, that's cigarette money for my plumber. There was. I was going to ask you something. Oh, what part of Virginia?
Fairfax.
Oh, okay. Been there a few times.
Yeah,
I don't know the place well, but
Fairfax, Centerville, Sterling, all that area around there. McLean. If you're familiar with the area, those are the big areas around where I live.
Let's see. Any West Coast tracks you want to run?
The only thing I have in my sights is saving up enough money to have my car shipped overseas and run the Nürburgring. That's my focus right now. There's a lot of great tracks across the United States, but I can get to those. I can drive there. I mean, the car's a car that I can drive on the road. It's not modified like, racing slicks or any of that kind of stuff. I have to stay within my class. There's only so much I can do. I can't increase my horsepower doing like that. All I can do is minor things like the tunnel plate in the bottom to stiffen the chassis and steel braided brake lines and that kind of stuff. So I have to stay in my class, but I can get to this stuff in the US at any time. I'm not too worried about that. Right now I have a fund that I'm dumping money in every paycheck so I can ship my car overseas and run the Nürburgring. It's going to be at least 2 more years before I get there, but that is where I'm going.
This is going to be the last question that I want to end this on a point that I saw earlier today. Net wants to know lasagna or spaghetti.
Ooh.
Lasagna is spaghetti.
Super cereal. Oh.
There are different types of noodles.
And doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter.
Spaghetti is the right choice. I love lasagna, but spaghetti is one of my favorite foods.
My girl makes a mean lasagna, but if I'm cooking my own dinner, yeah, I'd have to go with spaghetti too.
Spaghetti.
Scott, you can answer for real.
I like a good lasagna.
And with that, I just want to bring up something. I don't know if this is real or not. I saw it on Facebook or Twitter today, and the problem I have with it is that it could be real. So somebody tweeted out I don't know if it was from Facebook or what, because they had blurred out the person and made it really hard to see. But it was a person who was saying that if you let your child breastfeed, you're molesting your child.
Oh, God. Make it stop. Make it stop.
Because you are letting your child perform a sexual act on you.
It's not a sexual act. Oh, my God.
Now, I don't know if this is a Poe, but as I said, the problem I have here is that it's just far too believable that somebody would actually say that. That's the time we live in. I mean, we're going to have female Boy Scouts. We can't call women she, and and it's possible breastfeeding your child is molesting them. That's the fucking world we live in.
And as a professor in school, you can't look your female students in the eye because that's sexual aggression.
That's why you look at their tits. Just throwing that out there.
Acceptable
You said
either.
professor, not teachers. So there's a difference. We're talking about adults. I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And with that, we are at the top of the hour, guys. Chat, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the donations. Thanks for showing up as you always do. You guys are fucking amazing. I love you guys. Scribe, SDA, a pleasure as always. One Ton, I'm so glad we finally were able to get you back on. I told you when we were on last time I'd have you back, and it's been forever. But thank you so much for joining us. You're really awesome. I've enjoyed.
Thank you. I really enjoyed myself. You guys are awesome.
We appreciate that. Timothy Sealbeck, thank you. Knew a lady that let her 9-year-old breastfeed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. In that case, I might go with the molestation part. Guys, breastfeeding makes me sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.